Whether you're new with IAnet or you're new to setting up your IAnet CCC, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to set up the EMS Sync Service to handle the EMS uploads and how you'll manage your assignments from inside CCC. So first thing we're going to do is make sure that we are in Microsoft Edge. So that's the default browser that's included with most Windows PCs now, but it's going to look like this blue and green swirl icon down here. The tool that we need to install, that we use to install the EMS Sync server, is only able to download and install through Microsoft Edge. So if you're trying to use Chrome, it's not going to work, and it's just going to download it, but it won't install it like what it's going to look like here. So make sure you're in Edge, and then go ahead and click Login. That's going to go ahead and take you to this login page here, and then you can use your user ID and password that's provided to you by vendor services. If you haven't received that, please reach out to them, make sure that they've got you set up, and they'll provide you with your password. Once you're logged in, we're looking for this icon towards the top right that's labeled FC. That stands for File Connect, which is our old manual upload tool, but it's the tool that we use to install the sync service, which is the new upload tool. So once you click on that, you'll get this pop-up and you'll hit open. And then that is going to give you this security warning message asking if you want to install it. We're going to hit yes, or we're going to hit install to go ahead and install it. And then we're going to get this progress bar here. It's pretty short, or pretty small tool, so it should be a short process. Once that's done, you're going to get this Windows Defender message. What we're going to do is click on where it says more info and where it's underlined, and then that'll give us the run anyway option. Then we'll click on that to go ahead and let the tool run. We're going to get that File Connect pop up, and then you're going to get a user account control message saying, do you want to allow this app to perform changes? We'll hit yes. That's going to give it admin credentials or admin privileges temporarily so it can install the sync service. Then once that's done, you'll get this File Connect login window. We don't need to log in, and you won't ever log in this way at all. We're going to hit Settings. And then once the Settings window's open, we're going to hit Install Sync Service. We're going to get another, do you want to allow this app to make changes? And we'll hit yes. And then that's it. There's no feedback on that one. It just does its thing. What we can do to verify is actually click on your Windows icon, wherever it is on the bottom left of your computer, and type in Services. And then click on the one that says Services with a gear. You'll get another pop-up, most likely. Do you want to allow this app to make changes? Hit yes. And then once the Services window comes up, sometimes it can take a second or two here, but once it comes up, it'll be behind File Connect, so we'll move File Connect. We can actually go ahead and close out of it at this time. And we can click anywhere, tap on I to go to the eyes, or you can just use the scroll bar and find it. But what we're looking to make sure is that the IAnet Sync service is showing the status of running. That means it's active. Well, first we want to make sure it's showing at all. That means it's installed. Running means that it's actively running, and then we should see automatic delayed start, meaning that it's going to start a little bit after everything else does on your computer. So this is what we want to see here, and that looks good. If it's showing as an option but it's not showing as running, please give our support team a call, as we would need to look into that to see why it wasn't started when it was installed. And there's a couple different troubleshooting steps we can take at that point. But if yours looks like this, then you can go ahead and close out of the services window, and we're good in the portal for now. We've got the sync service installed, it's up and running. What we need to do now is actually make some settings changes in CCC1. So we're going to go ahead and open that. You should have been provided your IAnet CCC login by vendor services. If you don't have that, please reach out to them and let them know that you haven't received it. You'll need to have that in order to make these changes, because these are only going to be done to an IAnet login. The sync service, we don't want to send EMS files for any other company you write for to IAnet, because it's not going to match with any of our claim numbers. So we want to make sure that we're logged into the IAnet login, and that's going to be your license number that starts with 4 at IAnet, and then you'll get a temporary password on the first login. Once you use that, you'll be able to create your permanent password, and then that'll get you into your IAnet login. So what we're going to do is go on the top right to configure, and then click on machine settings. So These are specific to the IAnet login, so if you have any other export settings or export paths set in a different license, those will not be changed. So what we want to do under EMS extract preferences is uncheck the first box and make sure that only lock estimate and lock supplement are checked. So what that's going to do is it's going to tell CCC to export the EMS whenever you lock an estimate or lock a supplement. So it creates that trigger to export the EMS on lock, so you don't have to do a manual export. So that's part of the automated process, but the main thing is that we tell CCC where to send those EMS files to. So we're going to create an export type for EMS 2.01 estimate and work file copy -awf estimate copy, or estimate file. You'll do that by clicking on the drop down under export type and then selecting one of each options. And then once you have that, we're going to click on the three dots underneath directory. And we're going to use a file that was created when we installed the sync service. So go to whatever your main drive is. For me, it's OSC. That's the default for most people, unless you have a secondary drive or you've renamed it. And then we're going to look for the IAnet folder and expand that. Then we're going to expand File Connect, and then we're going to select Sync EMS. So we don't want the temp folder inside of it, we only want Sync EMS. Once that's highlighted, we can hit OK, and then it's going to go ahead and populate it under the directory column, and we're just going to repeat that step for the work file copy. So we'll click those three dots again, expand our OSC drive, scroll down to the IAnet folder, expand File Connect, highlight Sync EMS, and then hit OK. Once that's done, we can hit OK, and that'll save our changes. The sync service has now been installed and configuration export paths have been set. If you're familiar with how to handle your assignments, you are good to go at this point. I'm going to have you send an email to vendor services with the key phrase "one bunch of grapes." That's how we're going to verify that you've watched this video to this point. It's going to be up to you to make sure that you followed the steps, but we are going to trust that you've done that. At least we can confirm you've watched the video, so it would not make much sense to watch the video but not set up your computer to match. So again, that key phrase is "one bunch of grapes." At this point, if you were to go ahead and write an estimate and lock it, we should get everything we need, given that you know how to attach your photos and documents to the work file. A couple other just kind of procedural tips that I'm going to go over now is how to handle work files. So if you look at the screen here, we have a few work files that we wrote in our staff location, but the main thing is that IAnet, Inc. is always going to be listed as the insurance company on every work file we send to your location. And they're going to be notated as active files by this antenna icon here, also in the insurance company column. All files that you're going to write for IAnet will be sent to your IAnet CCC location, similar to this. These have been written and locked, so instead of estimate version EO1, this will be blank, and the updates column will show new assignment work file, or new assignment. But you're only ever going to write on work files that we send to this location, or to your location, and you're only going to write on work files where the antenna icon is present. Due to the nature of how things move around, it is very possible that we may cancel an assignment, either due to coverage issues or if the vehicle physically leaves your coverage area and goes to a different area, we'll assign it to another appraiser in that area. And in the same vein of process, you may receive an assignment for a vehicle that's moved locations to your area. We have seen where it's left, we've reassigned it off of an appraiser and assigned it back. What happens is that you'll get a canceled assignment because we cancel the initial work file when it moves, and then if we send it back to you, it'll look like a supplement assignment. So the update column will show one for canceled, one for supplement assignment. The canceled one will not have the antenna icon because it was canceled. That means it's no longer an active work file. The supplement assignment will have the antenna. So it's really important that we only write on assignments that the antenna icon is showing. That'll make sure that the advisor runs so that all the rules for the carrier profiles are going to fire and be applied to that review. And most importantly, well, for me, most importantly, it means that we're going to get your upload file. So that means we'll get a copy of the estimate of record or supplement of record, depending on where it's at, all of your attachments, UPD or RPD if applicable, and then the EMS as well. We only get those on files where the antenna is showing. A couple other housekeeping items for how assignments are handled. Once you lock your work file, it's going to go ahead and place all of your attachments into the outbox. So what that means is that it doesn't get uploaded to us automatically. Once you lock it, you can save and close the work file. You should see the EO1 and padlock icon like those work files back there, and all of the files sent as, or all of the attachments shown as pending in the outbox. And once they're sent, they should show under the Sent tab. It's not an instant upload. It can take anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes in order for things to completely get sent over to us. So we ask that you remain logged into your IAnet CCC1 login for at least 5 minutes to give the system a chance to upload. So if you close out of CCC1, if you log out of this license to log into a different license, or of course if you close your laptop, shut down your computer, that will pause the upload until you log back into this license. So to avoid delays, we ask that you remain logged in for 5 minutes to make sure the upload completes. Another thing to be aware of is that all of the assignments we send you are going to be linked to a carrier profile. So that is all of the rules that we have plugged into the profile from the carrier for the advisor, among other things. The way that CCC does their update process means that you may get an assignment for a profile that's not there. The reason that happens is because when we go to update a profile, we can't just make a change to the information. We actually have to delete the profile from every appraiser's location, make the change on our end, and then copy that profile to every appraiser's location. As we add more and more appraisers, it actually takes longer and longer to push those out. So it's currently at about a day's long process to update one profile. So that means that you may get an assignment needing a profile that's not in your CCC location. Or on the other end of it, if it's a brand new carrier, we don't push those profiles out to everybody for the same reason. We do it region by region, so it's possible you may get an assignment for a new carrier where the profile hasn't been sent to you. You'll get a message saying something along the lines of the carrier office profile for office code, and then it'll give you a 2, 3, or 4 alphanumeric code, just a shorthand for it, does not exist. Do you want to create it? You won't be able to create it. What you need to do in that instance is send an email to support@ianetwork.net. That's me. Again, that is support@ianetwork.net with the file number for the assignment, file number or claim number. That'll give us all the information we need to get that profile pushed out to you on demand. That way you can access the assignment. Once that's been pushed to you, we'll send you a note from the file letting you know to log out of CCC, log back in. That'll update the profile list, and then you should be able to access the assignment. If you do have any other issues where a work file is missing, so you got an email for an assignment but the work file isn't in CCC1, or if the information is not correct, vehicle location changed, we got more correct owner info that you're not able to update, let us know and we can get that fixed and pushed out so it updates the assignment. Same process, go ahead and email support@ianetwork.net and we can get that resolved. Basically, the rules are we don't ever want to create a work file from scratch or write on an assignment where the antenna icon is not there. The way that support works for CCC, that's kind of a final last thought, is what I call in and out. So we manage the setup, getting work files into CCC, and then the upload and getting things out of CCC. So if you have any issues with what goes on between that, being writing the estimate, using general CCC functionality, any software issues that you believe are bugs, some buttons not working, you're putting in information and CCC is not registering it, those would go to CCC directly. If you have an issue with stuff that's unique to IAnet, such as work files, carrier profiles, or any data that is specific to us, then that would go to support@ianetwork.net. And if you're not sure which is which, you can always start with us, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll let you know which is which. If you have an issue with CCC directly, software issues, you can contact them again at 800-637-8511. Hopefully you are all set and ready to receive your assignments. If you haven't already, send vendor services at ianetwork.net an email with the code phrase "one bunch of grapes" to let them know that you watched the video up to the setup portion. Bye.